Hey guys, it's Joe Walker here. In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to heel flip. So you're either a kickflip person or you're a heel flip person. It just so happens that I am a kickflip person. So I had to put a tremendous amount of work into my heel flips to get them down. But they are now confidently at a point where I feel comfortable sharing my hints and tips, foot positioning, body positioning with others to teach them how to heel flip consistently pretty much every single time. I feel more confident doing the heel flip in motion, but the tips in this video, the foot positioning, the body positioning is the same, whether you are doing it stationary or in motion. So stay tuned. Let's get into the foot positioning of the heel flip. Right guys, I'm regular, so my back foot is my right foot, so we'll start with that guy. You're gonna wanna pop your back foot right there in the pocket. Leave a little bit of board between the shoe and the edge right there in the pocket. And when you pop, you want to pop straight down. If you've been learning like front shoves, you can often find that the board will tweak slightly because your foot's used to sort of popping and then moving the board into a scoop. So just be wary of that. If you're learning to heel flip, say from the ollie, then you're just going to want to pop straight down. If you are having problems with this, just ever so slightly incline your foot like that. If you watch my ollie tutorial, this is pretty much the foot positioning for the ollie. But just to get that cleaner, harder pop on the heel flip, just have your foot about there. The front foot, I have it there, just before the bolts, with just the toes hanging over the edge, kind of like that. There is an ever so slight incline on my foot. It's not quite perfectly 90 degrees. Just slightly incline it a little bit. Just found that this helps me catch the board. There's a lot of wiggle room on the front foot, so rather than lose a lot of control if you're struggling to flip it and take your foot off the board, don't do this, but just give it an inch down the board away from the bolts, and this will really help you with the flip until you can edge your foot closer to those bolts and you've got a stronger kick to nail the heel flip. Both feet together look something like that. That is the foot positioning you're gonna need to be able to land a heel flip. Now in my opinion, the heel flip is 30% in the feet and about 70% in the upper body. So we're gonna get onto the upper body right after I explain the 3 steps of the heel flip, and they are pretty self-explanatory. It is simply 1, which is pop, 2, which is basically slide this foot up the board and then kick off. Very, very similar to an ollie. You're definitely going to want to need to learn the ollie before you do this trick, because as with an ollie, your foot turns sideways, sort of from here to here, slides up the board, and then the only real difference is you're kicking off there, and that's what will send the board into the 360 motion. And then step number 3 is land on the bolts. So now that we've discussed the foot positioning and the 3 steps of the heel flip, I want to touch on the body positioning of the heel flip, because this, as I said, this makes up about 60% of the entire trick. If your body is not right, you're going to find the board is clattering behind you, sort of doing this weird hard flip thing under you, which you do not want, because that is going to hurt badly. So you want to get your body in a way that it helps keep the board perfectly under you, centered. So I'm just going to run these clips of me doing some stationary heel flips. Now this part of landing the heel flip really took me some time to figure out what to do with my body, my upper body, to land a heel flip. It took a lot of hours of work, so please listen to this if you are wanting to land heel flips. The foot positioning part is the easy part, and that's the part that you're probably not going to struggle with. You want to get yourself to a point where you can pop and kick and you're rotating the board properly and you're landing maybe 1 foot on the board. Then it's just a commitment thing. What you then might find is that the board is going behind you, it's landing behind your feet as you're trying to land on it. You might get your heels on it, it might just clatter behind you, and this is because you're not centered above the board. So at all times, you want to keep your shoulders directly above the board. I'm going to be rolling some footage of me doing it here in slow motion as well. So basically what you're doing, or what you're seeing, is me feet are in the correct position, everything's fine there. What I'm doing is I'm bending low down to the board in preparation for the trick, and then I am sort of pushing my backside out as if I'm just about to like sit down on a chair is the best way I can kind of explain it. This will keep the board under me, or rather ever so slightly move me in the air with the board as it slightly goes backwards. So you're not moving your entire body back, you're going to want to slightly gently move your shoulders back as you kind of go to literally sit down. But you're obviously not going to sit down because you'll just end up on the ground. So don't sit down, just sort of, it's the same sort of feeling as you would be going down to sit in a chair if you're sort of sitting down into it backwards. So you kind of sit down, execute the trick, and as you pop, just gently brush, just move those shoulders back ever so slightly and let the trick do its thing, catch it, and then land it. This part, this takes a lot of practice to get this part figured out, because most of it's playing in your head, as it did with the kickflip and the ollie. The commitment of putting my feet on the board and slipping out. But for the kickflip and the ollie, the upper body kind of sorts itself out. Sort of just, yeah, ever so slightly lean back a little bit, pop and ollie. But the heel flip, it's because of the way that your feet are encouraging the board to go, what they're encouraging the board to do. You're going to need to compensate that for that, and you're going to need to do that with your upper body. So we'll play the footage again. You're going to want to see me bending down to the board, sticking my backside out. I pop, kick, and land it. In the stationary ones, you'll actually see me kind of like edge forward, or I'm knelt over, kind of like leant over forwards. That's because I don't confidently have this trick 100% stationary, but in motion I'm a lot better because the momentum of the board kind of takes all the force and you can kind of like level yourself out. But definitely put some work into the upper body if you want to be landing heel flips. It's 60% upper body, 40% feet. Right guys, there we have it, the heel flip. So just to recap the steps of the heel flip, you have pop, and you have kick, and you have land on the bolts, and all within that, you're wanting to crouch low to the board. So really bend your knees, keep your shoulders centered over the skateboard, stick your backside out as if you're gonna sit down on a chair, and then keep your upper body completely straight and level. This will help you keep balanced. Then just commit to the trick. It's not an easy trick. My heel flips are sketchy, but to say I've been skating 10 months, got them a couple of months ago, I'm happy with them. I'm able to do them on a bank, off a box, on the flat ground, moving and stationary. So it's been pretty good progress, and I really hope that the hints and tips and steps in this video help you to get your heel flip down, or get a more consistent heel flip if it's something that you're working on. How are your heel flips, guys? Please do leave it down in the comments below. If you're needing any further pointers, just ask it in the comments below and I'll see if I can help you. Like I say, I'm a beginner myself and the heel flip is not my strongest trick, but I will help you where I can. I want to say a big thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.